If your cat throws up more than once every few weeks, I need you to stop and pay attention, because most owners just assume it's hairballs and move on. As a veterinarian, I can tell you that is not always true, and sometimes it's the one sign that something serious is quietly brewing. Now, here's the good news. Most cat vomiting comes down to just a handful of causes, and for each one, there is a clear, practical thing you can do. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 7 most common reasons cats throw up, exactly what I'd recommend for each, and this is the important part, the red flags that mean you need to stop watching videos and get to a vet today. Some of these you can start fixing at home this week. 1 or 2 of them are genuine emergencies. By the end, you'll know exactly which is which. Let's go through them, one at a time. Let's start with the one everyone blames, hairballs. Cats are meticulous groomers, and every time they lick, that rough, barbed tongue drags loose hair down into the stomach. Most of it passes straight through, but some of it collects into a wad, and when it won't move, your cat brings it back up. That's the dramatic hacking, and then the wet, cigar-shaped clump you find with your bare foot at 2 in the morning. Now, an occasional hairball is completely normal, but if it's happening often, that's a signal, not just a mess to clean up. So here's what I'd actually recommend. First, brush your cat regularly. The more loose hair you catch on the brush, the less ends up in their stomach, and for a long-haired cat, that might mean daily. Second, if the hairballs are frequent, ask your vet whether a hairball-control diet is appropriate. These are formulated with extra fiber to help the hair move through the gut instead of coming back up. And third, talk to your vet about a supplement, like an omega-3 or a vet-approved hairball gel, to support the coat and the digestion. But here is the part most people miss. If your cat is retching and hacking and nothing comes up, or it's happening several times a week, do not just keep buying hairball treats. Frequent hairballs can actually be a sign of an underlying skin or gut problem that's making them overgroom, and that is worth a proper vet visit. Number 2 is incredibly common, especially in homes with more than one cat, eating too fast. If your cat inhales their food and then within just a few minutes brings it right back up, undigested, in a little tube shape, that is usually not true vomiting at all. It's regurgitation. They ate so fast that they gulped down air and overfilled the stomach, and it comes straight back before digestion even starts. It looks alarming, but the cause is simple, and so is the fix. What I'd recommend is to slow them down. The easiest tool is a slow feeder, a bowl with ridges or little obstacles that forces them to work for each bite. You can also spread the food across a flat plate or a lick mat. Second, divide their daily food into smaller, more frequent meals instead of 1 or 2 big ones, so there's simply less to gulp at once. And third, in a multi-cat home, feed them separately. Because a lot of fast eating is pure competition, one cat bolting the food before another can steal it. Give each cat their own quiet spot. Do those things, and this kind of vomiting often stops completely. But one caution. If you've slowed the eating right down and your cat is still bringing food back up regularly, that's no longer about speed, and it's time to loop in your vet. Number 3 is one that gets missed for months at a time. A food intolerance or allergy. Just like people, cats can react badly to specific ingredients, very often a protein, like chicken, beef, or fish, or something in one particular formula. When their system doesn't agree with it, you get vomiting, sometimes with soft stool or diarrhea, and often an itchy, uncomfortable cat on top of it. The tricky part is that it can be subtle and come and go, so owners tend to blame everything else first. Here's the thing though, and I want to be really clear about this. This is not one to guess at on your own, because a cat's diet is delicate, and changing it wrong can cause more harm than good. So what I'd recommend is to talk to your vet about a proper elimination diet. That usually means a limited ingredient food built around a single novel protein your cat has never eaten before, or a prescription hydrolyzed diet where the proteins are broken down so small that the immune system simply doesn't react to them. You feed only that strictly for several weeks, no treats, no table scraps, no flavored medications, and you watch whether the vomiting clears up. If it does, you've found your answer. The key words there are under veterinary guidance, because a food trial only works when it's done properly and your vet can rule out the medical causes that look almost identical. Number 4 confuses a lot of owners because it usually strikes first thing in the morning, empty stomach vomiting. Your cat hasn't eaten all night, stomach acid builds up with nothing to work on, and it starts to irritate the lining. So early in the morning, or right before their next meal, they bring up a small amount of yellow or foamy liquid. That yellow color is bile. And here's the reassuring part. It's often not a disease at all. It's simply too long a gap between meals. So the fix is usually beautifully simple. Instead of 1 or 2 big meals with a long empty stretch overnight, feed smaller portions more frequently so the stomach is never completely empty for too long. A small snack right before bed, or a timed automatic feeder that puts out a little food in the early hours can stop that dawn vomiting almost overnight. If your cat does well on a steadier schedule, this one often resolves in just a few days. But, and you'll hear me repeat this for every single cause, if the yellow bile vomiting keeps happening even after you've fixed the meal schedule, or it comes with weight loss or a drop in appetite, that is your cue to get blood work done. Persistent bile vomiting can point to something deeper. Number 5 is easy to overlook, especially in kittens and cats that spend time outdoors: intestinal parasites. Worms and other gut parasites irritate the stomach and the intestines, and vomiting is one of the ways that shows up. Sometimes you'll actually see worms in the vomit or the stool, and sometimes you'll see nothing at all. Cats pick these up from hunting, from fleas, from other animals, and a kitten can even be born with them from its mother. Now, the reason I don't want you to guess here is that there are several different parasites, and they each need a different medication. The wrong dewormer does nothing. So what I'd recommend is simple and it's cheap. Take a fresh stool sample to your vet for a fecal test. They'll identify exactly what's there, if anything, and give you the right treatment to clear it out. And for kittens especially, routine deworming is often just part of standard care. This is genuinely one of the least expensive problems on this whole list to fix, but only once you actually know what you're treating. Number 6 is the one I most need you to take seriously: chronic vomiting from an underlying disease. If your cat is vomiting regularly, say weekly or more, for weeks on end, and especially if it comes with weight loss, a change in appetite, drinking more than usual, or just not seeming like themselves, this is no longer a hairball or a fast-eating problem. Let me say this plainly, because the internet gets it wrong. Regular vomiting is not normal for a cat. In middle-aged and older cats, ongoing vomiting is one of the most common early signs of things like inflammatory bowel disease, an overactive thyroid, kidney disease, pancreatitis, and even certain cancers. And here's the hard truth. Cats are experts at hiding illness, so by the time it looks obvious to you, it has often been building quietly for a long time. This is absolutely not something to diagnose from a video or treat with over-the-counter remedies. What I'd recommend is a proper workup with your vet, a physical exam, blood work, and often imaging like an ultrasound to find out what is actually going on inside. And the reason that matters so much is that every one of those conditions is far more manageable when it's caught early. So if the vomiting is frequent and ongoing, please don't just wait it out. Get the tests. It is genuinely one of the most loving things you can do for your cat. And number 7 is the true emergency, so I've saved it for last on purpose: a swallowed foreign object. Cats and kittens especially will swallow things they absolutely shouldn't. String, tinsel, ribbon, hair ties, a chewed off piece of a toy. When that object lodges and blocks the intestine, the vomiting becomes different. It's sudden, forceful, and repeated. Your cat often stops eating entirely, seems painful in the belly, and can go downhill fast. And I need to say this next part very clearly because it saves lives. If you ever see string or thread hanging from your cat's mouth or from their rear end, do not pull it. It can be wrapped around the intestine, and pulling on it can cause catastrophic damage. This is not a wait and see situation. If your cat is vomiting over and over, can't keep water down, is hunched and clearly hurting, or you have any reason at all to think they swallowed something, that is an emergency. Get to a vet or an emergency clinic immediately. A blockage is very often fixable when it's caught in time, and deadly when it isn't. When in doubt, make the call. It is always better to be the owner who rushed in for nothing than the one who waited too long. So let's bring it all together. 7 reasons your cat throws up. Hairballs, eating too fast, a food intolerance, an empty stomach, parasites, an underlying disease, and a swallowed object. Some of those you can start on tonight. Slow the eating, adjust the meals, brush more often. Others need your vet. And I want to leave you with the red flags. The moments where you stop managing it at home and you go in vomiting many times in a single day, blood in the vomit, not being able to keep water down, hiding, weakness, a painful belly, or vomiting alongside weight loss. Any of those, call your vet. When it comes to a cat throwing up, the golden rule is this: an occasional hairball is normal. Frequent or forceful vomiting never is. Trust that. Now I'm curious, which of the 7 is your cat? Tell me the number in the comments, and if you're worried, describe what you're seeing, because this community is genuinely good at nudging each other to get help in time. And if this helped you tell the difference between keep an eye on it and go now, do me a favor and subscribe. Every week I break down what your cat is really trying to tell you. I'll see you in the next one.